Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Luke with Premium Aquatics here, and today we're going to look at a semi-new product, and that is dealing with our lighting. We're going to check it out in depth here. We're going to get some ratings on it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it, guys. Alright guys, so today, I hope you all are doing wonderful. Hope weather's treating you nice. It's beautiful here in Indiana. Very chilly right now, but I'm loving it. So before the weather gets hot and gross and muggy and humid, let's go ahead, let's take a look at today's product. And that's dealing with our lighting. So without further ado, we're going to be looking at ITC's PARwise Pro Edition. This is the latest iteration here, or addition to the PARwise line. This is the Pro, which is going to measure cPUR, or cPUR, however you want to pronounce it. This goes beyond PAR reading, because PAR reading is just reading the spectrum and everything within a certain range, which for our corals don't take up everything. According to their research and the studies that have been done, just because the spectrum's out there, just because there's light emitted to it, doesn't mean that the corals are going to benefit from all of that spectrum, just like in freshwater. Freshwater plants aren't going to take the benefit of all of what the lighting that's on theirs. Same deal. So without further ado, let's go ahead and open this bad boy up. I'm excited to test it out and see what's in here, and we'll share that with you guys. So if we read on the back here just a little bit, there is a QR code. I don't know if that shows up properly in the camera, but you're welcome to try and scan it if you'd like to get some more info as we're going over it. But basically it's going to be able to read PAR, which is your real-time light energy, the spectrum, which is the wavelengths, and then the DLI, which is the light in 24 hours. It's going to be plotted out for you, which is really cool. And then we have the cPUR, and we'll talk about that in just a second. So let's open this bad boy up here. Okay, so in the box we have our manual and little pamphlet, and then we have the actual cPUR unit. So if we open this little plastic up, so if we look right on the box, you can see here we have all we need. We have the sensor, our cable, and our connector. This connector is USB, but we also have a USB-C adapter on here, which will pop on, and that is because you will need some sort of electronic to get the data off of this unit. It is not a handheld unit, so you have to have some sort of device, either a tablet, mobile phone, or a laptop, or if you have your computer near your tank, you could use that as well. I will be using my phone, so I'm going to hook up this USB-C, and I'll be able to get right onto my phone and see my real live data as we're doing the censoring. I won't try to get that all on the camera because it's going to be a little bit hard for me to do that. We'll show some pictures of what exactly the readouts will look like, and you'll be able to see what it would do for you as well. But this is all there is to it. It's super simple. I mean, you can't argue it. Very industrial unit. All we're going to do, we're going to take off this little protective covering on it, and bam, nice PARwise Pro's unit. And then in there we have our instruction booklet. I've already folded it open, but it's extremely easy to utilize and to get started. These are instructions. Basically, you're going to connect the unit to whatever device you want to, and you're going to open up Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge, and you're going to go to their app page, which is www.par-wise.com/app. You're going to click the connect button. Pop-up's going to appear, and then you're going to start seeing data, and that's as easy as that. I mean, what more can you ask for? I love when things just, you connect them, do a little, okay, I got to connect to the site with it, and I'm good to go. So before we get into all the nitty-gritty of the cPUR and that type of graphs and whatnot, just to talk a little bit about this thing. They boast, you know, having a very nice cable, very strong, very durable. It is very, very nice. This is a polycarbonate resin-filled body, so it gives you a lot of strength there. The other really nice part here is if you look closely, there's 5 screws here which can actually be removed, and this little cap taken off, and this is a scientific grade cosine diffuser, and it can be renewed, it can be replaced, so that's awesome. So when that needs to be replaced, we can actually do that if we need to. So I always like when we can actually replace parts instead of just like, oh, that's done, can't do anything with it, bam, and it's out the window. So that's cool that they give you that option. So without further ado, let's get into the nitty-gritty of the cPUR now, because that's what we want to know. What is so great about this unit? and I'm going to tell you. So let's talk about what this does, what it brings to the table, and what they're talking about, the research that they've done, and why we would appreciate this as opposed to some of the others. Because there's a lot of things out there that read PAR, but their take on it is that's kind of getting outdated. Because yes, while it measures a great spectrum, a wide spectrum, not necessarily are our corals or our plants in freshwater, whatever the case may be, not necessarily are those live animals taking in all that spectrum. So what this does is measures cPUR, which is measuring the absorption of what zooxanthellae can actually take in. So if we look at this graph, I'll pop up a graph here, and in the background, that is what the zooxanthellae can take in and actually absorbs, and it has that little, the hump, and then it goes down and comes up. The front portion is actually your spectrum. It is what your light's actually putting out. And although you can see the spectrum is wide, and if you have a really warm light, you might get into the reds, yellows, that sort of thing. If you have a really cool light, it can get into those blues and more of those purples. And so what the take here is that we're trying to match our spectrum to what that actual zooxanthellae can take in. So from this graph, you can then try to adjust your light, especially if you have lights like AI, reef breeders like I do. Go in, adjust those spectrums so we aren't just wasting extra light. Yeah, great, it's light, perfect, but we want to maximize as much as possible what our corals are going to be actually absorbing and taking in for growth and all that. So the idea behind it is we match those two curves as much as possible. So of course, if your preference, you like a more wider light, you like a more brighter, or even you like into the yellows, by all means go for it. Just keep in mind with the graph that they show, the bigger portion is in the lower nanometers. So we want to try and maximize that portion as well with it. So there's a section where you can do for freshwater, saltwater, and then air. Apparently there is a small difference between the freshwater and saltwater, and so when you go to select it, you want to select the correct one that you're utilizing or what your tank is. Again, getting the best out of there and trying to maximize for your system. So really, really cool stuff. This unit does have a lot of measuring capabilities, which is really cool. A lot more of information that I'm not a scientist, I don't know all about, so I'm not going to go into all of it. I'll put up a table here you can read. I'll put a link in the description as well where you can literally go to our website and see all the specifications of what it can read and its range, because there's a lot to it, and honestly, it's going to be a lot easier for you to read it than me to try to pronounce everything. So go ahead, click that link, take a look. I'll put the table up here just so you can see it as well. Go ahead and pause it. But it has a lot of capabilities, which is fantastic. And like we are all striving for, is for maximizing our tank health, life, longevity, our coral color, our coral growth, all that jazz. So the more we understand, the better we can do that and progress and hopefully keep our corals as happy as possible. So really that's it, guys. That's what we're looking at. I highly recommend check it out. It's a great unit. If you haven't already, if you don't have a PAR reader, definitely look into this. But that's it, guys. We appreciate you. We love you. Hope you're doing fantastic. Like always, like, subscribe, share the content, all that good jazz. Check it out in the link in the description below, and we'll see you in a few short weeks. Peace.